7 weeks into office, President Donald Trump sports his highest approval rating ever, driven by strong, almost unanimous Republican support, modest support from independents, and little from Democrats. But the president's economic approval has taken a hit here. The latest NBC poll showing President Trump's approval rating at 47%. That is a personal best for the president, up 4 points from when he left office in 2021. 51% disapproving of the job he's doing, down 4 points. Democrats should not take any heart from this poll. Their positive image rating dropped to an all-time low of just 27%. Only Russia and Vladimir Putin had lower ratings than the Democratic Party among those asked about in this poll.
Boy. So we got to talk about the laughing stock of politics, the laughing stock of Washington, D.C., the laughing stock of the country, the laughing stock of the world. Let's be real, okay? The Democrat Party, the Diddycrats, who are currently in free fall, okay? Because their party, they're historically unpopular, okay? Their approval rating is historically low, okay? I don't think it's ever been this low. I think basically everybody in this country is more popular than the Democrat Party at this point, and is at the point now where we have to seriously consider whether or not the Democrat Party can survive in its current form, okay? As they are in the process of staging a coup against their leadership, okay? They are calling for Chuck Schumer to step down. I believe that Hakeem Jeffries is next because he has the charisma of a cardboard box. The whole discount Obama shtick is just not going to play well with voters. I mean, the real thing is not playing well with voters. Okay, Obama himself, he's not playing well. Michelle Obama's not playing well. So discount Obama, he's definitely not going to play well either. Okay, so they're thinking about basically getting rid of their leadership, okay? The so-called Blue Tea Party, okay? The Progressive Tea Party, they're trying to now take over the Democrat Party. You even have Biden propagandists and MSNBC host Symone Sanders declaring that she's leaving the Democrat Party over the Democrats and their inability to shut down the government. Because, again, a Blue Tea Party is now on the horizon.
Page 22 is where they zero out the money for the COPES program. I didn't write down which page it was on, but within this document, $1 billion cut from Washington, D.C. I'm a D.C. resident, and I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, you know, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent, first and foremost. Shout out to Hakeem Jeffries, though, because the congressional Democrats stayed together. And I'm just going to, I don't have a question, I'm just going to read what Rebecca Traister had to say. This is what Rebecca Traister said. Let's get Rebecca Traister up there on the thing. Rebecca Traister, she writes this, and she, on her Substack, she says, in 2024, Democrats ran on warnings that Trump was going to destroy our democracy, and now that he and his team are very much in the process of doing just that, these same politicians are questioning whether or not to stand up to him and his party at one of the first opportunities they have to meaningfully do so. The only opportunity, I would add, there's not another option for Senate or Democratic or Senate Democrats or House Democrats to effectively push back. This was it. They blew it. The Democratic Tea Party was born the same day that Chuck Schumer took to that podium to read that very well-crafted statement that told us he folded like a paper napkin.
Then the top Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, going as far as not saying he has confidence in Chuck Schumer. That was a remarkable moment on Friday. Now, we have learned that Schumer and Jeffries did meet behind closed doors yesterday in Brooklyn, trying to get back on the same page. They have huge and consequential fights ahead, but the backlash from the left is real. In fact, Wolf, Chuck Schumer is scheduled to do a book tour in a number of cities on a book that he has authored on anti-Semitism. He has just canceled that book tour, we are learning, because of protests that were scheduled from activist groups who wanted to go after his decision to agree and allow the government funding bill to go forward to avoid a government shutdown. They were furious at his decision to do that. It just shows you the anger on the left and the Democratic Party. Can they get it back together at this key moment when they are essentially leaderless in a lot of ways, essentially don't have a strategy on how to fight back against Trump, and have all this unrest on the Democratic base? That's going to be a big question for Schumer, but interesting that he decided to cancel this event. They're citing security concerns, but there were these large-scale protests, at least some protests scheduled outside these events.
And I want to tell you guys just how dire of a situation that Democrats are in. I want you guys to understand. After January 6th, I seriously had questions about the Republican Party. Was the Republican Party going to split and become, I don't know, the Patriot Party, right? The America First Party versus the Republican Party? You know, there were real questions about the Republican Party moving forward after January 6th. But January 6th was not enough to destroy the Republican Party. Ultimately, nothing serious ever really came out of that, okay? But Democrats, though, this is a different situation, right? Because President Trump winning the election seems to have destroyed the Democrat Party in ways that January 6th could not destroy the Republican Party in Trump. Again, it is extremely fascinating to witness, okay, as the mainstream liberal media is currently coping over the historically low approval rating of the Democrat Party, okay? They're making up all types of excuses for why Democrats are more unpopular than basically anybody or anything else in this country right now.
Chris Matthews, what do you make of these numbers for the Democrats?
Well, you could have seen them the night that Trump addressed the Congress. Mm-hmm. And you watched the Democratic Party. They seemed like they weren't there. They were sort of vacant. They weren't saying anything with their manner. They never questioned the facts. They let the president lie about Social Security and say that we're giving benefits to people who are 160 years old or to their grandchildren. We allowed Elon Musk to go on television and tell everybody that we're using Social Security as a lure to bring people into the country illegally, that we're giving them benefits, which we're not. We're giving them to illegal people in the country who came in illegally. We give it to them. Lie after lie after lie, and said nothing. I'll tell you, James Carville, who said the Democrats should stay silent, may be partially right, but where he's wrong is you have to have a fact checker. There needs to be a war room. Remember in 1992? Yeah. Remember how Bill Clinton won that election because he had a war room. He and George Stephanopoulos were down there in Little Rock, and they were checking every fact, and nobody checks the facts anymore. And the lies are getting through to the American people.
They are. They're being flouted at the same time. Who is that person?
That's the question.
Well,
because it's not going to be founded from the legislative, the branch of the Senate or the House of Representatives. They're not fixed to pick an outside spokesman. Schumer's not an outside spokesman. Hakeem Jeffries turns out not to be an outside spokesman. So somebody has to come up. Chris Murphy's tried to do it, but he doesn't have the stature or the authority to do it. He's just another senator.
Buttigieg? He's got the skills.
Maybe, but he's running for president. He is running for president.
Oh, but that may be.
Well, I mean, I think that's a fact. I don't know why they haven't put together a group and said, you guys, you people, speak for the party. Get out there and do that. I mean, I agree with you on Schumer. The Schumer question is a small part of this.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you talk to people on the very progressive side of the Senate, they'll tell you it's a close call.
It's a close call.
And by the way, if we're sitting here 2 months after the government shut down and it's all being blamed on Democrats, the numbers will even be lower than we just saw.
That's why I agree. There should be an exciting a construct in which they push back on facts. On facts. Just stick to the facts. I don't want to hear your feelings, especially from far left-wing Democrats. I don't want to hear laughing or, you know, derisive laughter. I don't want to hear anything except the facts and where the Republican Party...
You were so right about that.
I don't want to hear your feelings.
The derisive laughter, the way you use laughter to insinuate an attack.
Look, this is a policy versus politics problem, right? Biden world, very good on policy, grew the economy, very bad on politics, right? Unable to communicate with voters. We're seeing this sort of hangover from that a little bit. And also losers are not popular. So they lost, people are mad, Democrats are mad. There's a ton of Monday morning quarterbacking. But the reality is there's good policy here. And it's popular, too. Like, think about Project 2025. This summer, Project 2025, which is basically all the stuff Trump is now doing, right? Disassembling the Department of Education, ending the national oceanic, you know, the weather. I mean, this is all stuff that is in Project 2025. Bad policy, wildly unpopular policy. So here's the problem. Democrats actually have to do politics now, and that is where we are. But I do think they have much more popular policy. These things that Trump wants to do are very unpopular. The tariffs are unpopular. All of this is unpopular. So if they can't make this, if they can't message on this, I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah. So I want you guys to understand how delusional the Democrat Party propagandists and the party is as a whole right now. Okay. They really believe that, oh, wait, our problem is not the policy, right? Which is what lost Democrats the election. Okay. Policy lost them the election. No, it's not the policy. It's the politics, right? Our policies are great. Really? The open borders policy was great, right? Again, allowing illegals into the country. At the local level, the soft on crime policies were great, right? Allowing agents of chaos to wreak havoc in these cities across the country. Yeah, that's great policy. The excessive overspending from the Biden administration. Oh, yeah, that's great policy as well, too, that the American people loved. Yeah, these people are delusional. They just can't admit that the Democrat Party is too far left on the policies, right? I mean, MSNBC, they pretend to be against the leftists, but they're not, because they're so far left. They think that because they're not full-blown communists like the rest of the party, that, hey, the far left, they're the problem. They're the real problem. It's like, no, you are the far left. Okay, MSNBC is a part of the far left. I don't care what anybody says. The Democrat Party is a far left party. Now, the lunatics in their party, right, the left of the left, they may be, again, full-blown communists, right? But that doesn't mean that the Democrats aren't far left. They're extremely far left, okay? And it seems as if, I don't know, the base of lunatics in the Democrat Party, they could be in a prime position to take over this failing party, okay? As now there are discussions about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is in the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, taking over and becoming leader. Yes, there are real conversations about whether or not she can lead the party.
They want to screw over the American people. They can do this. The Republicans have the White House, the Senate, and the House. If they want to do this, and if they want to screw over the American people, they can do this with their votes and their party.
The question Democrats have confronted since Election Day is, who actually is leading their party? Well, a new CNN poll out this morning gives us a sense of who Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters think best aligns with their party's core values. And that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the New York Democrat and progressive firebrand who was furious at Senate Democrats for allowing the GOP spending bill to become law. Now, it all comes as a slew of potential Democratic presidential candidates are already testing the waters for 2028. My panel is back. So just to look at a little bit more in this poll, the question about who best reflects the core values of the Democratic Party, if you break down among age group, perhaps no surprise, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a few people who are younger than 45, 15% say that she does. That's more than Kamala Harris. And, she's still, people above 45% doing reasonably well. Now, just to be clear, there are a lot of voters who did not offer a response. 30% of voters didn't offer a name in response of who aligns with the Democratic Party's core values. But
Yeah, so my reaction to this poll, right, I think that this is, once again, another devastating poll for the Democrats, because there's not one traditionally masculine man on the list, right? There's not one. Okay, again, the Democrat voters, they see AOC and Kamala Harris as the leaders of the party. Again, two radically far left individuals, right? Kamala Harris was the most liberal senator that we've ever had, right, in this country, okay? She was as far left as Bernie Sanders. So again, the top three are socialist, okay? See, again, this is why I try to tell people about the Democrat Party being way too far left, right? The top three, okay? AOC, Kamala Harris, and Bernie Sanders. Not one masculine, moderate man in sight, right? At all, okay? Not one. This is the problem with the Democrat Party. This is the problem. Until they get a high testosterone, masculine man who is an actual moderate. Hell, he probably should be slightly conservative, to be honest with you, overall in his politics. That is the type of individual that can lead Democrats back to relevancy, right? But it's become clear to me that that's not going to happen, right? The Democrats, the far left base, is not going to allow themselves to have a party of sanity, right? To be led by a strong man, right? It's just not going to happen, right? It's not something that seems like the left is going to tolerate. So they're basically stuck. They're stuck in bed with these far leftists who, again, now are about to stage a coup on the party.
What's your reaction to that? AOC the progressive, one-time firebrand of the party, still a firebrand.
Yeah.
Representing the core values of the Democratic
I
Party.
noticed that Chuck Schumer's name wasn't listed on that at all. The Congresswoman is clearly tapping into something across the Democratic base because she is someone who knows how to, unlike I think a lot of other Democrats, knows how to operate in this new media ecosystem, right? Which is that just traditional media doesn't work all the time. Reaching voters in that way doesn't work all the time. She blankets social media across the board and makes herself available to voters in a way that you don't see Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries making themselves available to voters.
Yeah.
And I think that that's also why you're hearing her. Voters are responding to her message, and they're feeling like out of everyone in the party, she is potentially the person who is giving voice to their anger in terms of why are you cooperating with the Republican Party?
She's joining Bernie Sanders, who's 83 years old, probably not going to run for the presidency again. She's joining him in town halls next week in Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado. Is there a path for AOC in 2028?
Well, if that's what the party wants, then potentially, sure. You know, her rise kind of reminds me of what happened to Republicans after Obama's election in 2008, where it was the loudest voices in the Republican Party, the Tea Party, that really gained traction at a time when the Republican Party was lost. And maybe Democrats now find themselves in a similar situation. And AOC, maybe she best represents where Democratic voters are.
Go ahead.
Think of it this way. If you're a voter 30 and under, you've only participated in 3 elections. 2 of them Donald Trump won, 1 of them Joe Biden won. They're all over 70 years old when they won. It's millions of voters out there craving something new, something younger, something closer to them.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. If AOC is the leader of the Democrat Party moving forward, right? If the Jasmine Crockett's of the world and all of these woke women and low T men, if they're the leaders, then I think the Democrat Party's done. I think they're cooked, right? How in the world can Democrats win the male vote with AOC as the leader, right? It's just not possible. Okay, it's not possible. I just don't see it happening. Whoever's going to lead the Democrat Party is literally going to have to come out of nowhere, right? They're going to have to be some unknown, strong, masculine man that just comes in and takes over the Democrat Party. I don't know who that can be at this point because, in my opinion, strong, masculine men are not Democrats in 2025, right? I mean, I don't know how you can be a Democrat and be a strong, masculine man at this point. Doesn't make sense to me, but I'm just saying that that's what Democrats need. But again, their base can't handle that. And because their base can't handle that, the voters they rely on to win, their party's cooked, okay? Because they're going to turn off all the same people and the men, right? That's what's going to happen. So, hey, it looks like the woke left, right, the far left, the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, they're going to win this, right? They're going to win this civil war within the Democrat Party, and they're going to stage a coup against the leadership. It looks like that's what's happening at this point, okay? The Democratic Party of old, which already is super far left, it looks like they're collapsing due to the woke left, the far left, socialist, communist left, saying they've had enough of that leadership and they're going to take over because they feel that they can be better opposition to President Trump. So I think that this is going to end up a disaster. This is going to be a train wreck. The Democrat primary starting in 2026, 2027 is going to be absolutely amazing. Okay. It is going to be awesome to cover these lunatics trying to compete for the nomination from the Democrat Party. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.